All right. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. Arsenal have gone ahead to hold a meeting with Gyökeres' agent at the Emirates. Again, remember, the first meeting was held when Arsenal was playing against Real Madrid at Emirates in the first leg that Arsenal won 3-0. You remember that very well. Now, over the weekend, as the side of Arsenal women team, went ahead to obviously see themselves really lift the Champions League, and I think the Champions League final was really played, and Arsenal went ahead to obviously see themselves beat Barcelona in the final by 1-0. It was in the Estadio Jose Valverde. That's where everything took place, and this is the stadium of Sporting Lisbon. Welcome to this channel once again, and I told you it's really going to be a very interesting story because this time around it's Arsenal going to the stadium where Viktor Gyökeres has been playing for the last 2-3 seasons in his senior career. That has gone ahead to see him blossom to a level of very many teams getting interest in the player. That is Viktor Gyökeres for you. So we're also going to be talking about Henderson and then the former Arsenal goalkeeper known as Szczesny, new contract at Barcelona. So those are the three stories that we're going to be tackling in here onto our beautiful channel, that is the Rokani Media Football, right? So let's go eyes and see what you people have to say about this. 200 to 300 likes to be smashed in this video, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll with you, the people that are really very adamant when it comes to this channel. Now, this is a story coming in through from CM Journal. You can call it a tier 1, tier 2 journalist in there, and they've told us that Arsenal's management met with the agent of Viktor Gyökeres, Hassan Setikanya, at the weekend of the UEFA Women Champions League final in Portugal. So, the UEFA Champions League finale was played in Portugal. Arsenal beat Barcelona, and the Arsenal women's team went ahead to do a trophy parade over the weekend. And London was really very action-packed. Remember, even Spurs had gone ahead to lift their trophy of the UEFA Europa League, and they also had to do their trophy parade. So, as it stands, when the team of Arsenal went that side, remember, the board that runs the female team is the same board that runs the male team. They used that time, or they spared some time and held talks with the the management, or with the agent of Viktor Gyökeres, who goes by names of Hassan Setikanya. So when they met, obviously they have to discuss on what deal Arsenal is willing to offer, because I think for the personal terms they won't be of any problems, because as I told you, when Arsenal was playing Real Madrid last, I think it was last month, they had to do this. And what did they do? They went ahead to meet out at Emirates, and I think one of the things we're discussing were all about Gyökeres' personal terms, including his contract, weekly wage, sign-on fee, image rights, and so on and so forth. Even the bonuses that are supposed to be included into the contract of Viktor Gyökeres. So, as it stands, it's really going on well down there with the club of Arsenal. Every step they are really taking is really very important, and they are now doing everything at their pace, because they know to it that a team that would have gone ahead to really destabilize this deal is really out of the way, because they failed to really get Champions League football. And that's what I told you, that it was a blessing disguise for Tottenham Hotspur to beat the side of Manchester United, because if United qualified for the Champions League, I tell you, the battle would have gone ahead to be huge between United and Arsenal on who is obviously going to be taking Gyökeres. But right now, Arsenal is in the lead. No one is really competing with them like so close, though very many clubs are really interested in the player in the names of Viktor Gyökeres. You know that very well. There is Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, which other? Newcastle. Like 4 or 5 English teams are really interested in Viktor Gyökeres' services, right? And they are like, all right, let's take it from there. So, as it stands, we are waiting to see what came out of this meeting, because this is a Portuguese media outlet, meaning that they got the news from the source, and the agent of Viktor Gyökeres is really a media-minded guy. And for any player to make it in this era, however good you are, however good you're scoring goals, you have to be in the media. And that's why you see to it that in the recent past, each and every goal that Gyökeres has been scoring, you saw the likes of Fabrizio Romano coming up and obviously having something to say about it. You remember that very well? So that's the importance of media. That's the importance of media in this day and era, that now Viktor Gyökeres is becoming a household name when it comes to strikers that we are talking about this season. Though Kylian Mbappe went ahead, obviously clinched the European Golden Boot, but Gyökeres came second. You understand? So it really sends a clear-cut message to everyone that is really into this mix that media is really a very big weapon, and that's why his agent is disseminating information outside there to all the people that it's done and dusted. A meeting has been held, and through that same media outlet, I tell you, by tomorrow we'll be having a story concerning Viktor Gyökeres and his agent meeting the management of Arsenal. Obviously, the management of Arsenal is held to a deal of Viktor Gyökeres, but as I told you, Arteta wanted Alexandra Isak. Yesterday, I brought a story from Jacobs Ben, who told us that Arsenal was waiting to obviously go hard on either Gyökeres or Benjamin Sesko, because they thought that maybe Newcastle wouldn't qualify for the Champions League, and they would have gone ahead to use that avenue to convince the player to come and play at Arsenal. But Newcastle qualifying for the Champions League, Arsenal go to next week, gonna be hard to convince a player known as Viktor Gyökeres to come in through and play part into the best, into one of the best teams in London, that is Arsenal. So we're here to wait and see, but all shows that Arsenal is closing in on a deal of Viktor Gyökeres, and however much they're in for Benjamin Sesko, I think Andrea Bartha is using this as a threatening tool, that if you really twist a little bit, then we are really going in for a player known as Sesko. So we are waiting to see how that pans out, but finished articles are what Arsenal are really looking at this particular season. So let's wait, as I told you, and let's leave London there. Let's go to a little bit of Ajax in there and see what Dean Henderson has to say about his future. This is Fabrizio Romano. Jordan Henderson will decide his future this month. English midfielder has the option to trigger additional year at Ajax, but has interest from Premier League and Serie A. Henderson had a top season captaining Ajax back to the Champions League and back in the England squad with Tuchel. So this player known as Henderson has been really trying hard. We know that he left the Saudi Pro League, terminated his contract, where he was really earning big. When I talk about earning big, you might be asking yourself, how much was he earning? He was earning £700,000 a week, but he terminated his contract because he wanted to play in the Euros, and he went to Ajax. When he went to Ajax, he went ahead and really played there, but Southgate never really even thought about him when he was naming the team that was going to play in the Euros. But he never really gave up, he never really gave up at any one point, and it was like, let me really take this slowly, and as I take it slowly, I'll find myself into the England national team again. And guess what? At the age of 34, he's back in the English national team. Tuchel has considered him and has told him, please come and get yourself a position to play into my team. That is Thomas Tuchel for you. And for Ajax this season, he has gone ahead to play 28 games. He scored 1 goal and went ahead to put in 4 assists. That is the 34-year-old. And this summer, he's turning 35 years of age. And I tell you what, he has gone ahead to do a lot. UEFA Europa League, 15 games, 0 goals and 2 assists there for you. And the KNVB Cup, he really played 2 games this season. So in total, he went ahead to play 45 games this season. And if a player at the age of 34 can play 45 games, it shows you how fit he is and how he really keeps himself in shape. But Premier League sides and Serie A sides are really interested in the player. Now, it's up to the player to really come up with a decision that really helps his career. And we all know that most times when they really turn 34 years of age, they really think about what their family needs, because most of the times at the start of their career, 18 years to like 30 years, it's all about them getting to where they want to be. That's why at that side, so at that level, they don't really involve family, because it's all about chasing for the bag and seeing to it that you hit the nodes that you're supposed to hit in your career. That is it. So Arsenal has gone ahead to obviously find themselves in a proper position. Ajax are really trying to convince the player to trigger the 1-year contract he really has on his contract. And maybe interest is there and contracts have gone ahead to be tabled. And if I'm Dean Henderson, I stay at Ajax. If I've been at Ajax and I've played with them, and the manager of England, Thomas Tuchel, has really noticed my services and has rewarded me with a call, then why do I need to obviously leave the club that has made me get a recall back to the national team? You understand? So I think it's really one of those moments that are supposed to see to it that we really get in there and see what decision is obviously going to be making. But he's a decent player, captain of Liverpool, won the Champions League at Liverpool, won the Premier League at Liverpool, and he really had to go to the side of Saudi, but later went to Ajax. But you know, we always bring you updates day in, day out, and we'll be here to let you know where this guy is obviously going to be playing next. So, Szczesny is another one that we had to discuss into this particular story. Now, he had retired from football, you know that. But when Ter Stegen went ahead to get an injury and Barcelona were left with just one goalkeeper, a call was made to him, and he was like, when Barca calls, who says no? He got back, and the worry was he going to extend his contract? That was the worry, because he had signed just, I think, was it a 6-month deal? That's it. But looks like Szczesny is on the verge of signing new deal at Barcelona, part of club's plan since March. Former steps needed, but Barcelona remain convinced of Szczesny as part of the goalkeeper squad next season. The players expected to sign soon, as UEFA reports. So, the player is obviously going to be signing a contract, and that contract is really going to be very important for the side of Barcelona. You know, Barcelona doesn't have a lot of money to bring in players, and if you really let a player whom you got on a free like this go, yet he can obviously offer you one more season, then you are not in business. And what Barcelona have to do is simple. They had to convince Szczesny to obviously stay. And I think Szczesny feels like giving Barcelona one more season is not really bad. It's really one of the things that will obviously not require him to think a lot. Though, in the interviews he's been doing, he was like, I need to really get inquiries from our family and see how things are really going to be happening. But he has been really good, and he has really served Barcelona a lot this season. And in the La Liga, 15 games, you know. Champions League, he was there for 8 games. Supercopa España, 2 games, meaning that he was involved in 25 games of Barcelona this season. So, 35 years of age, and I think 35 is not too old for a goalkeeper, because goalkeepers can even reach 40 years of age. But he is really willing to obviously stay at Barcelona and give him at least one more season. So I don't know what your thoughts are about the stories that we've gone ahead to obviously include into these 3 packed video stories, and I call upon for your reactions. Arsenal management meets Gyökeres' agent in Portugal. What do you really make about it? Then, what do you make about Dean Henderson? Should he stay at Ajax, or he should return to the Premier League, or go for another adventure in Italy? Then lastly, what are your thoughts about Wesley Szczesny? New contract put on the table. Would you want to see him extend his contract the side of Barcelona, or he should be like, let me go into retirement? You know? Rokani David remains my name. Lower bottom corner it is. Go there. There is a black button that has where to subscribe. After, do the needful and really put in and click that black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing the notification bell, that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto our beautiful channel of ours. Rokani David is my name. We out.